y'all. It's your girl, Miss Primrose. That's Miss Primrose. You already know what it is. We are here with All Love Podcast, and we are letting love lead the way. Have a good and great day. Self-love, love on yourself, and love yourself first. Hey. Every testimony comes from a test. You're being tested at all times in all aspects of your life. So I feel like the therapist is there to help you get through those tests. All right, woo freaking song. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. Do that 2 more times, nice deep in breath. Breathing in all the abundance, new space, letting go any stagnant energy, anything taking up space. Bringing us back to our center of mind with our highest self. And as we are sharing and talking stories of nuggets and wisdom and just the love will come from us to be received. Hey, it's Miss Primrose. I'm gonna do a sound check and we yes. Check. Oh, yes, that felt really good. I need to start all the podcast that way.
Breathing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But of course, Miss Primrose will bring it out. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of All Love TV. Today, I am delighted, honored, and privileged to have a fellow sister goddess. First and foremost, we connected so synchronistically. We'll get into that in the interview, but she's also an amazing artist, songwriter, musician, singer, boss, CEO, entrepreneur, designer, and just all around like co-creator, designer of her own life, living life on her own terms, marching to the beat of her own drum,
Doing what I want
which
to.
is why she's here, doing what she want to. Tell them about it, Miss Primrose.
Right. Thank you.
Hey.
I am delighted to finally be on the All Love podcast. You know, I've been seeing a lot of great stuff going on, you know, a lot of amazing people coming through here and getting on the podcast and sharing their special gifts and the love. And it just feels good to finally be in the seat, you know, from the beginning to
It's kind of nostalgic because this was the very, like, first setup. You were in that seat moderating the very first All Love podcast test.
Yeah.
And just thank you so much because you have helped me along the way. I've had to call Miss Primrose numerous times from Guitar Center. I'm like,
what are we doing? How we get
what do I do? So just thank you
no
for
problem.
like
Thank you
this dream into reality, into fruition.
Thank the universe because if it wasn't for the universe,
shout out to the
universe. All right. For pulling all things to where they need to be.
Exactly where they need to be.
If this house wasn't on Airbnb,
right,
we wouldn't even made it here.
We would have. We'll tell y'all a quick little backstory. So we met. It was so divinely orchestrated. Just moved to Atlanta, as you guys know. Been here now 2 months, but at that time I just been here a couple of weeks. And the house was supposed to be on Airbnb since May. Just one of those things that just kept getting pushed to the back of the list. And literally, I'm sitting at my desk, and I heard Spirit say, put the listing up right now. Just that clear, put the listing up right now. And when I hear that voice that I know, I'm like, okay. I just followed. So I literally stopped what I was doing, sat down. And the crazy part is it took me all of 10 minutes. All of that time.
All the months that passed.
Procrastinating. It took me 10 minutes. Put it up. And literally within an hour, you booked. You guys booked, and I wasn't even expecting anybody to book because it was kind of late. So I was like, oh, okay, gotta clean up.
Right.
Gotta get it ready. But you guys came in, and it was just instantly like family, kindred
Like,
spirits,
seriously.
like literally. We couldn't believe so many of the similarities. We even have the same Roman numeral 4 tattooed on
And
us.
we're both master number 11.
Both master number 11s.
Crazy.
And just both trekked very parallel journeys and hearts leading in the same direction. And so that's for me one of the most beautiful parts of like connecting with tribe, you know, and we are here to help each other along the journey. You know, I've learned things from you, just watching you and how you move and how you work and your fearlessness when you up on the stage and getting business
That's
done.
a whole nother person, y'all.
Yeah, that's which we'll get into. Miss
PRIMORSE.
We'll bring her out in 2.5 seconds. But no, I just want to say I'm so happy.
Thank you, though, because if y'all didn't open up your home like you did, even after the Airbnb, we would not have, we wouldn't be here. Like, we wouldn't have found similarities. We wouldn't have been able to help each other as we have. I wouldn't have known that the things that I had that you need could aid. Look at the clothes that we were wearing. Like,
yo, that part was even crazy because I was literally had on my list. I need a heat press. I need some vinyl cutter. Literally, Prim was like, "Oh, I got that
stuff." Right.
I'm like,
I got all that.
It was like everything, and that's the beautiful part of when you know that God has ordained a relationship. It's like you have what each other needs. You know, it's very complementary, and I feel like that's the way I love. Those are really the only relationships I have space for right now.
Right.
If it doesn't flow, and it doesn't have to be tit for tat, or it's not, I do this, you do that, but where it just flows,
it's
and we
like,
always.
You need that, I got that.
Right.
Oh, you need that, I got that.
I got you.
I got you. Right.
And there's, just.
You need a camera, I got that.
Right. Right. You need to know where to get your flight. I got that. Right. So many I got that moments.
So many. So, I love that.
I do too. So we could sit and talk for days, but we're gonna reel it in because I want to get inside of the mind and heart of Miss Primrose and allow you guys the opportunity to do that as well. And so I guess we're gonna start first with you telling us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, so my journey. I actually have this really dope vlog going on YouTube right now. So y'all go check out that vlog. It is called The Journey of Miss Primrose. Music is my therapy. So for me, the title says it all. Music is my therapy. How I even got here from when I was a little girl and I knew I wanted to be a singer. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. I knew I wanted to perform because I like seeing people smile and be happy once they've seen me moving and doing all the things that I do. I just didn't know, if I could actually ever be that and in that position because my background and where I come from, I have a Jamaican family. So, and they came here. Yeah. Good food.
Right.
They came here after the hurricane in Jamaica destroyed everything. My parents migrated from Jamaica to America, and my sister and I were born in New Jersey. Coming up, my parents were under a lot of scrutiny, being immigrants, didn't have their papers all the way right. They do now, thank God. So, this can be out there. They're good,
right.
but
it's all good.
But as it started, it was very hard for them. And so they kind of tried to fall in line. On top of that, they were in the church. My dad was a pastor, still is a pastor. And, so with all those guidelines in life, or boxes, I would say, my mom wanted what was best for me. And she just didn't think that being a singer and entertainer was a serious career path. So after I told her that that's what I wanted to do at the young age of 8 years old, she told me that that wasn't realistic and I had to do something else, something that people wouldn't take me seriously for. And so for 20 some odd years of my life, I was trying to figure out, well, what is realistic and what am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing here? as we go through life, we don't really think about that, because in school they kind of program you to not think about your purpose, to not really look for who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. They just kind of tell you, hey, you need to do this, or you should be doing that. And then you have your environment that may not be the best, you know, kind of aiding towards that belief of what you should be doing versus who you truly are and what you were really made for. So that was my story, is similar to everybody's, you know, tried to figure out who I was supposed to be, was trying to find a realistic thing to do for a lot of the time in my life. And then I went through a really bad breakup right before the pandemic in 2020. It was the beginning of 2020. And that breakup kind of shook me up. Like, it woke me up, and it just made me really step back and had to figure out who I was. From that breakup, I was like depressed, seriously sad and down in the dumps, because I'd put so much time and effort into this person and building something for them to just walk away. And, you know, and how it was very, I was distraught. So from that though, I started going to therapy. So that was the good thing in the bad thing. You know, I started going to therapy. It's always like that though.
We find those lessons and blessings in this situation, and it's so crafty how the universe designs,
I'm telling you,
life like that.
It's
so
crazy.
It's just like embracing those hard times and those struggles, because there's really a gift in medicine, and
something's gonna come from it.
Which you were saying, what came from it,
which came from it was therapy. And I'd known about therapy before, because I was already going to Georgia State and got my bachelor's degree in clinical psychology at the time. And so I knew about therapy, but I just never really delved into actually saying, hey, I have a problem. Let me look at myself, you know? So now here was my time and opportunity to say, okay, let's go to therapy. See what can it do? What can it help me? You know, because I can't get any worse than this. I was at my lowest, you know, right?
Once you hit rock bottom, you're like,
what do you got to lose now? So let's just do something different.
Got to give.
Right. So that was my something different. Started going to therapy. And actually just the other day, funny enough, me and my therapist were on the phone, and we were celebrating my 2-year anniversary mark of me being in therapy for 2 years solid. So doing pretty good. From that, again, therapy, it took me about 6 months, I want to say, before of actually working on myself, doing the real work, and really looking at me and saying, okay, I can't be pointing at everybody and saying everybody's a problem. It's like, okay, something's wrong here. All right. And when I started to dive into dark, deep, shadowy places of my mind and my childhood, it really started to make sense as to why I did some of the things I did, that I chose some of the people that I chose, that I was moving the way that I was moving. And I was like, I just don't want to be like that anymore. That I don't want this to be my outcome. So, started there. And from that came me going back to one of my friends who, funny enough, have Black the producer. Shout out to him. He has made all of my beats to date and all of my music, really helping me groundbreak myself. Let me tell you, with Black, the way that me and him even came, the universe is a crazy place. The way me and him even came about, he was homeless back in like 2010, somewhere there, about early 20s. And I didn't know. I met him. He was in a car. He had his kids and his wife in a car, and I saw that they needed some things, and I had it. There I go again. I got what you need. So here, you got what you need, you know.
It's
and
gonna
so
be another song. I got
what you need. So I gave him some stuff that he needed at the time. I didn't really know to the extent that he needed those things, because he was homeless, and that car that I met him in was the car that he and his family was living in. Had no idea. And so from that time moving forward, now here I am years later coming to Black saying, hey, I'm ready to do music. I don't really have any money right now to pay you, but I want to, you know, start something and we can work it out. On the back end, he said, Primrose, I got you, because when I was at my lowest point, you had me, and you didn't even know it. But you was a stranger, came out of nowhere, and just was giving and sending people my way who I sent this group called Managed Mania his way, and they hooked him up with Lil Donald. They hooked him up with, I think it was T.I. He ended up getting some really good business out of that, and they came up out of the hole that they were in. I had no idea. I had not until I went back to him when I'm now like, okay, I think music is really where I want to be, really what I want to do. And so I started with Black, and my first song that came about was What I Want To, and it was me pouring out everything that I've been feeling. Like those lyrics, I wrote all those lyrics from my real life, and I wrote them like that because it was just something that was in me that needed to come out, and it's been needing to come out. So yeah, that's how I started my music journey, how it has started, and now it's been going, and it's evolving, and it's changing, and I'm just coming into the artist that I really am. Like, I'm just happy to be here finally, because a lot of people really never come out of that mindset of you have to do what's realistic. And so I'm just blessed to have been able to pull that veil from over my eyes, and I can see, like, I see my future in music, my future in entrepreneurship, my future in the path that I'm walking finally for myself and not for anybody else.
Wow. Yeah. You just like unpack so many nuggets in that story of your journey. Because like you said, I feel like that's where so many people are today, living life from the perspective of what society says, what our parents say, what our religion says, what's realistic, and realizing that if it's like, first of all, whose reality is it? What makes this realistic? And then the fact of like us, when we don't listen to our own voice and we listen to the voice of that's drowning out that inner voice from the outside, it's like we're lost because we don't really know who we really are, and we're not encouraged, empowered, supported to step into the truth of who we truly are, which goes into like why it's so important with the bigger vision for all love and having this education. Because just imagine if you had that at 8. It's, you know what I mean? And not that the journey is the journey. Yeah. And I feel like we go through it to extrapolate the wisdom so that we can give back, each one teach one, and so that we can pave the way for the next generation. So I like our parents had to pay certain dues so we could even be here doing the things that we're doing. So it's definitely a process. So I'm like, okay, this is why we had to do it. It is a process.
I just wish that sometimes we can skip that process, and go a little bit further than everybody starting at the same starting line. Like, right.
But that's what we're here to change. Right. I feel like that's what we are. That's what we will change.
We will change.
I was watching a Kanye interview last night, and I loved the gem I got from him. He said somebody he was meeting when they was like, I hope we can change this, or I hope we will. And he was like, that's okay, but I is nice, but we is bigger.
We is
like
bigger.
We, and not can change. We will change. Just little tweaks in the intention of the words, but like we will change. And I feel like that's a part of our purpose and our testimony here. I don't think you can have a testimony without a test. So in going through it, this is how we've learned everything that we need so that we can teach this future generation and show them the way and nurture them early on so that they can tap into the truth of their gifts and what they came here for. Yeah. So it's we're here. Yeah, we're doing it.
We are doing it.
We are doing it. Yep. So back to therapy, how has that journey been?
It has been.
Do you recommend it?
Oh, absolutely. I am 110,058,111% advocate of therapy, and everybody needs it. I don't care how happy you think you are, and you can be very happy. You still need therapy. You can be down. You need therapy. Like, everybody needs therapy. I think everybody needs somebody to talk to that can help guide them through the situations in their mind that they feel like, I don't know how I can get out of this, because it's coming up. Like you said, every testimony comes from a test. You're being tested at all times in all aspects of your life. So I feel like the therapist is there to help you get through those tests. and successfully. Like, they give you tools to build your mind. It's like a boot camp, you know, like that's the trainer. Now let's get you strong so you can go out there and tackle more things and just keep elevating. And so I've enjoyed my therapy journey. It has not always been easy. Sometimes I have wanted to quit because my therapist, she's an amazing therapist, and she challenges me all the time with just who I am, what I'm doing, how I look at things, looking from the outside in, from the inside out. Like, it's definitely, it's good. In therapy, I suggest it for everybody. I know that a lot of people will say, oh, they can't afford it, but there are ways. Let me tell you, there are so many ways. And the thing about you can't afford it, people don't actually check to see how much therapy costs. Because, like, my therapist, she's $45 an hour. I only ever see her for an hour. So why do you think you cannot spare $45 for a therapist once every 2 weeks? You don't go to them the frequency is up to you, but for me right now, where I am in my path, on my journey, I only see her every 2 weeks because I don't need her every week anymore. There was a point in time I needed her damn near every day. But
it's like, do you have a bundle package? Do you?
Right. I need to talk to you every day. But now I'm down to 2 weeks, which is beautiful. And it even reminds me, like, hey, the work is working. It's working because you don't need to see her as frequently as you did before, because you're learning to handle your stuff and get out of your head. Because a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, we're in our head. We're telling ourselves things that may not even actually be true, real, or, you know, out here.
Ain't that the truth? Like, that's the
be telling
the voices
ourselves
in
stuff,
the head, and then we stay there, and then we loop around, and this game of stories we playing over and over, and it's just like
so. And your therapist can help you control that voice, right? So I definitely advocate for therapy, man. And I'm in school right now getting my master's degree in clinical psychology so that I can be a licensed therapist, so that I can help children, because I believe that it starts with the children. I started my summer camp called Vision of Life Enrichment Program. I know it's a long name, but you get it in the name. Vision of Life. It's the vision of your life, how you want it to be, how you want to see yourself. So the vision of your life. And for the kids, we teach them, we go through meditation exercises and thought calming processes to help them calm themselves down, because we had there's this one kid, and I think I told you about him before. I ain't gonna say his name, but his nickname was Baked Beans because he loved baked beans. And so
that's cute.
And I'm going to refer to him as Baked Beans, so y'all know what I'm talking about. So Baked Beans was, he had some issues going on at home, and he would come to camp and fight other little kids, you know, and had a lot of anger issues. And so one time my sister and I, we kind of took him to the side. We love on our kids. We hug them a lot. We, you know, gave them a lot of positive affirmations and nice things. They wrote down cards. They drew pictures with bright colors and things like that. But Baked Beans was having some troubles at home, and we could recognize that just from how he's interacting with the other students at play. And once we were talking to him, he told us one time, you know, he's just not living his best life. And we asked him, like, why? What's going on? And he began to pour out what's going on at home. I don't want to say too much for confidentiality purposes, but he began to pour out what's going on at home. And so we started teaching him some exercises that he could do while he's at home and when he's feeling tense or anxiety on the inside when he's at home, because he's in a whole nother environment. We can't be with them everywhere, but we can at least give them the tools they need to try to get through those situations,
those moments, no matter where they're at.
And so fast forward now, it's been 3 years since he was in our camp twice for 2 years, and it's been 3 years since. So he didn't do this past summer because we didn't come back this past summer, but we'll be back next year, y'all. But So the last time I saw him, he gotten a lot taller. He got his hair twisted up, got his locks going on because he wanted some locks. And his mom was like, I don't know. And I was like, let him live his life. Let him do it because he can always change it later if he want to. But he's doing a lot better. And his anger issues have gone down to a minimum. He's not really fighting children anymore. I mean, he's a boy, so he's going to, play fights and all that good stuff. But the anger that he used to have, that pent up anger, he is not there anymore. And I'd like to think that from the interventions that we gave him, it helped, So, and it took amazing. Talking to his parents as well. We had to talk to his parents, let them know, hey, this is what he's saying is going on, and we'd like to help just further beyond just him being here. But if there's something going on at home and if you want to talk. And luckily for us, they were the kind of parents that were susceptible to that, and they were willing to help because they wanted the best for their child. Right. Sometimes some parents will feel offended that you even say something because their child said something and now their child is getting scrutinized for saying, but luckily, thank God, she really wanted the best for her child. So she was even open to doing those exercises with him. She learned some new stuff from us. And so that's why I feel like he actually changed and got better, because it started with us, or, with us just trying to be intervening. But the parents also took on that role and said, we don't want him having the problems that he was having.
Because I feel like all parents really do want the best for their children. Yeah. What people aren't realizing, sometimes I know my own mom didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
Had she had those tools, small, calming down breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had that been in her toolbox, I'm sure she would have used it and things could have been different. Which is why we need programs like yours. Yeah. And if we can, replicate that, we're going to talk about that after the podcast. But no, that's the work that I feel like is like the most important.
Definitely is. And that's why we start with the kids, because we feel like even
they're the future.
And
it's so much easier to like build a solid foundation with children versus trying to undo so much with adults. It's so hard to change adults. Even as me as an adult trying to change some of my own habits and my own stuff. I see
that's where therapy comes in.
I'm gonna have me a therapist,
right?
So with a therapist, is it also good to have someone who can kind of see your patterns from an objective point of view and kind of see where you might be cycling back around or looping back around, and how to like interrupt those?
And that's what the
habitual.
I mean, that's what my therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's good for. So, and it gets better the longer you stay, because just like with anything and anybody, you have to build a relationship. Right. They have to see your pattern. I always tell people it takes 6 months before you actually get to know a person, because I can put up a front for 6 months, but on that 6th month or 7th or 8th month, it's like, dang, I'm tired of fronting. You know, I got to be me now. So yeah, and
even quicker if you live with a person. Even live with a person. That's how come relationships today, people just jump right in and start living together. Well, it's a good. I mean, for me, I'm like, well, at least I got to see sooner.
Right. I gotta waste all my time.
I gotta waste all my time throwing out the mask. Right. But also at the same time, I feel like slowing it down and getting to know each other with the space allows you to like sort through some of those layers in a different way, with maybe a little bit more grace. But yeah, I didn't know. So it's 6 months. That's the
6
that
months.
makes sense.
So yeah, for relationships with like therapists, same thing. It takes them time to get to know you, to see your patterns, for you to be open, because sometimes when people start you have walls up, and it's like they're not there to judge you, so it's like whatever you tell them, that's helping them help you. Right. But I've seen in a lot of different cases where people just feel like, oh, I don't want them to judge me. And it's like, your therapist is not going to judge you. They want to help you. But because you think they're going to judge you, now you're withholding things. And that's counterproductive, because they can't help you to the best of their ability if you don't tell them everything. Right. So yeah, with my therapist, she know I be all the tea.
She just say it's
I'm
a
giving
safe
her
space.
All the tea. Right. I'm like, look,
and it's good to have
this
that
happened.
safe space that you could just tell it flat out exactly how it is. Because a lot of times we do have to tweak the story, whether we talk to our sister, our best friend, or our mom. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets a different version sometimes.
But the therapist, she got to
on-
get it raw and real, okay? And she does. Mine, she know. And when I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong, and I be telling her.
Does she let you know?
Oh yeah, she let me know, because I already know most of the times when I do something wrong. 9 times out of 10, I'm conscious enough to know, okay, that was wrong, Primrose. You shouldn't have did that. But, you know, then I tell her, and she's like, so how are you going to fix it? What are you going to do about it? Now she's challenging me to make it better versus just sitting in my wrongness, you know? Because a lot of us, you know, we do things. We're human. Everybody's human. Nobody's perfect. So, yeah, we do a lot of different things, but it's just, on when do you know to fix the thing that you're doing wrong? When do you know to, okay, I'm not going to do that no more because I actually want to be better. So how do we, you know, and my therapist and therapists alike can help you get to where you want to be, can help you be better, be a better you.
Be a better you.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have to now. We're going to have to add therapy in with our self-love regimen because, and, you know, being pointed to being a better you.
Yeah, be a better you.
Where we want to go. And speaking of self-love and being a better you and a better me, what can you let us in on some of your self-love, maybe tools or way you cultivate self-love for yourself?
Well, I write affirmations. That's definitely one of the top things that I do. At the top of this year, I challenged myself to write affirmations at least once a month. That has gone well. I've done it at least once a month, but I've done it more than once a month because I would write it and I would use those same affirmations in that month and just repeat them back. And, you know, but there were some times this year where I went through a couple of rocky moments and I didn't quite remember to use my affirmations. So I had a wristband on me that said I am love, which is crazy. I'm not wearing it right now, but because I was about to say I could show you to you, but I don't have it right now. But it says I am love, and it just reminds me to remember my affirmations when I'm going through tough situations. Those are just 2 things that I use to bring myself back to say, hey, look, you're worthy, you're light, you are great, you're amazing. You know, even though I've done some things in the past, I am not my past. I am better. I will be better tomorrow. I'm becoming the best me that I want to be. People, my friends around have helped reel me back in plenty of times, but I've been in this place lately where I'm realizing that some people that I used to put my trust in are falling off, and that's okay. You know, as you level up, and I've had this conversation a lot lately. As you level up, some people go, you know, and you have to be able to ground yourself in yourself because you're here to stay with you, and you're the only one that's here to stay with you for as long as you're here. So it has to be self-sustainability, like within yourself, mentally, knowing that even if they go, you're still here, you're still you, you're still great, you're still worthy. You're still enough. I'm talking to myself right now. But yeah, I've just been, a lot of that has been going around lately, even just for me and myself. So some tools, affirmation, wearing jewelry that tells me I am enough, to remind myself that I am enough, breath work, that even you've, you know, taught me some new breath work lately to cure headaches. And just sometimes when I'm feeling a little anxious, just taking a moment and breathing and remembering you are here. Your purpose is still ahead of you. You're still going. You're not, you know, it's not the end. And I will tell myself that. I said, it's not the end. It's not over. If it's not okay, it's not the end, because in the end, everything will be okay.
Hey.
So just keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep going. Keep pushing through. And remembering that it's a journey. It's a journey. And on this journey of life, it's all of it.
Yeah.
It's all of it. And I know we have this inclination to want it to just always feel good or to just always be going our way.
Be perfect now.
And be perfect, right. But realizing it actually is perfect now, because that's the most beautifulest, craftiest thing about the divine, is that everything is always orchestrated for our highest good, even when it's the shit that looks crazy. So late say the crazy relationship where it felt toxic, or I can even speak for my own self, because that, I don't know, we really talked in depth how my self-love journey started after ending a tumultuous relationship. Where I was, all the way wrapped up, all the way had just lost any sense of myself, in love with this other person, and wanting, just wanting it to work so bad. And sometimes we think we can love a person enough, which that never works. You can, love covers a multitude of things, but you can, never love someone enough to make them want to change. No. Change has to come from within. Inside. Even for myself, people have loved me on the journey, and I'm so appreciative for it. But the change, when I wanted to really change, it just came from inside, within, and normally came from the loss of love. And so, just even in those gifts, but just trust in the process. That's why the original self-love shirts on the back says a process you can trust. Because when you look back and you see how all the dots connected, and you're like, oh, but that's why that happened, because that had to happen, and out of that came this situation. And well, if I had never been to the point where I was broken down, just like I didn't know who I was, where I was gonna go, heartbroken to this, I'm drinking every day, like it's just getting out of control. I would have never, like how you reached out for therapy, I reached out for nature. And that's when I left and just like went to Costa Rica and disconnected from everything. It was that bad. I had to disconnect from everything. And just immerse myself in nature, and just immerse myself in really finding out who I truly was, because clearly all these masking personalities and ideas and thoughts and constructs that I was just feeling so overwhelmed trying to live up to, trying to be, and all along we know it's not us. We know that this isn't even the truth of who we are, but when it's being taught to you at such a young age and by people who love you, so they mean well, we don't question it as early on. And so nature was my therapy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a whole nother form of therapy too. So
nature was my therapy, and solitude, and journaling a lot, of course, and affirmations, and that's when I really got deep into breath work and silence sometimes, because sometimes if we're silent enough with ourselves, our inner therapist comes in the room, which is God. And our highest self. And it's like, let me ask you this. Do you find that things your therapist tells you, in some way, somehow, some form, you kind of knew, but it's just her reminding you or pulling out of you or making you look at what you already knew or reminding you of it?
Yeah, all the time. And we have those moments where she's like, I know you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I think that's the beautiful thing about therapists. It's like they're there to remind you that, hey, you already have these tools. You already know, but let me sharpen them a little bit more for you so you can use it. Now let me give it back to you. So, yeah, we definitely, especially in this time, and I can't say everybody will always know. My interaction and my encounter with my therapist comes from a place of knowledge, because I did get a degree in psychology, so I knew some of these things, and subconsciously, I'm an aware person. But either way, whether you know it or you don't, they're still great to have. They still will remind you how amazing you are and help you go down the path towards your own happiness, whatever it makes you happy. So.
And they're like a confidant as well. And sometimes you just need to be able to get everything that's out. In
Get it
the
out.
inner universe out so you can kind of like sort through it and see. Because once you move it too, do you really find that sometimes after a session with your therapist, even just the movement of the energy by talking about it, it's like you feel lighter.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay, well that's over that now. I just needed to
Definitely.
process
I
that.
dump everything on my therapist. Like, I give it all to her. Like, the good, the bad, and the ugly. She knows my worst
Thank
secrets.
God for the therapist.
She knows everything. So, yeah.
I almost okay, yeah. Being a therapist is kind of it's cool. It's interesting.
And she writes everything down. So I'm like, it's gonna be in a book somewhere, someday.
Oh, and that's cool too because they take notes.
Yeah.
So you can always go back and be like, let's
and see how you
revisit
progress
these
and
therapy
see how,
notes.
literally, they take everything down. I think she records it and then like goes back later and then types it all out or however that works. But she gets everything because she's pulled stuff up on me and be like, 6 months ago you said, you know, and your goal was, and now you've hit that. Congratulations, you know. And so she reminds me sometimes that I be doing what I say I'm gonna do. Like,
because isn't that interesting? We could be our hardest critics.
Yeah,
You know, like
very much so.
That's one of the things I had to remind myself, even in my affirmations, is just the celebrate the small wins, celebrate the everyday, even if it is as simple as sticking to doing my breathing in the morning, doing my journaling, or taking a minute, sitting my phone down and going to sit. Like those small steps of self-love that kind of we do, or even if it's hitting a goal or like putting on an event, then it's like when you're moving so fast, like, okay, I got this event, I did this, I put out this song, did this show, I said I was going to connect with these people, and we're doing it. And then we don't really get to
enjoy and bask in
and
the fact
celebrate
that you
and remember.
did.
Like, yo, I am the shit.
Right. Oh, snap.
Wait a minute.
I can't do that
Look
on
what
my
God
own.
did
Look
and
at me.
created.
Right.
I am a divine reflection
Okay.
of the Creator.
Yes.
For real. And don't you ever forget.
Don't you ever forget it.
Don't
Talking
you
to myself.
feel
Don't you ever
right?
forget it.
Don't you ever forget it.
Don't you forget it.
I didn't really think about that part of therapy, having not just accountability partner, but also a celebration partner.
Yep.
Which is
We definitely celebrate. We've had a lot to celebrate, and she reminds me because sometimes I really just overlook everything and I just keep going. But I am glad. See, I'm convincing myself that therapy is a great thing.
right.
Again, all over again. But I hope that you that are watching this and you that are here with me, one day just give it a try. You never know what good can come out of it. You never know. I don't really see a negative from therapy. I'm sitting here thinking about it too, like, can it harm you in any way? No, I don't think so.
Yep.
It can only help you unlock who you really are and be truthful to yourself, because that's what it is. It does. It makes you look at yourself and be like, all right now. Okay. You was
I'm
wrong.
talking to the man in the mirror right now.
Right. But
and I'm gonna put in the comments some links for
Yes.
some resources for
Yes.
therapy.
So therapyforblackgirls.com
Okay.
is that's where I found my therapist, and therapyforblackmen.org is for the
Okay.
men.
Bet.
Yep.
Yeah. Y'all heard therapy for Black women. Right.
Therapy for
Black
black girls. Black girls, and
Yep.
then for men.org it's for
And
the men,
.com.
.com for the girls.
Okay. Well, y'all gonna be on my therapy journey, because I'm actually gonna look up and
Check it out.
check out and get me a therapist. Especially, how do you feel it's helping your relationships?
Ooh.
That
It has been, for me, good. For me,
Okay.
good, because I see people for who they are, and I accept a lot more of just people as they are versus being so judgmental. I'm more graceful with people and their situations. Even the current relationship that I'm in now, the intimate relationship that I'm in now, because I have several relationships, but the intimate one that I'm in now, prior to therapy, I used to tell myself I would not date anybody with kids. I would not date anybody with this. I would not, I had I ain't doing this, and that probably scooched out a lot of great people in my life, because I was just like, nope, ain't doing it. Nope. And, and boundaries and standards are great. I have them, love them. But with this one in particular, had I not met the person and like actually got to know the person before, you know, and all the stuff that was in my head, you know, a lot of the opportunities and a lot of the love that we have and that we share, I probably would not have gotten if I would have kept to those, you know, standards in my mind and in my head, because it doesn't actually hurt. It was just from what I used to see growing up with people with baby mamas and this and that and that, it was a lot of drama and I just didn't want it. So that was what was fixed in my mind. I had a fixed mindset. But when I finally was like, okay, let me be graceful, let me, you know, because those are people too, and everybody makes mistakes, and, you know, and just let it go. So I let it go for a while, and I met a really great person who has taught me a lot in the time that we've been together, you know. So what was the question?
The question. No, you were on it. We were talking like, has it helped in your relationships?
Okay, yeah.
Because that's something that I feel like is therapy as individuals, but then for couples, I think is beautiful and could be highly beneficial. I've done a lot of, I guess, I had therapy. It was just like through retreats and workshops and courses where there were therapists, but there were like maybe a la carte, you know, but you still extrapolate some of the wisdom. So, but because I feel like when you do those type of things together, and even with me and my relationship now, I'm like, having a therapist probably will help, because you get to, helps you see from the other person's perspective. It kind of helps you remember that we are all here doing the best that we can, and, you know, not being so judgmental, and patience, and, you know, breaking down the maybe the barriers where we come to different love languages or communication styles, and, you know, just our blind spots.
Yeah. And even with like my parents, I feel like therapy has helped me grant grace to my parents, because I was very angry for a really long time at them, at some of the things that they didn't do and the things that they wouldn't allow me to do, just coming from a churchy background and them saying I can't do this, I can't, you know, and I was one of those rebellious kids that you just can't tell me I can't do something, because I'm gonna try and show you how I'm gonna do it. Right,
like your theme song.
That was just exactly like, that was literally me. And so I had held a lot of grudges towards even my dad. Like, I remember one of our therapy sessions where I got my family in therapy with me. I was like, y'all gonna come on, you know? And so we all were in the family therapy session, and it was a lot of emotions that came out in that one session alone. And even my dad said some things that really let me see from his point of view how he was feeling for his family that I didn't know, you know. And prior to that, because I was so angry, I was kind of cruel to my dad, and I didn't even care, because I was very just angry. So, but after going to those couple therapy sessions, having my family there, being able to finally say what I needed to say, and having them listen, because from my household growing up, I'm a baby. I'm the baby of the family. So if you're a baby, you know that 9 times out of 10 they won't listen to the baby, because the baby's the baby, right? But the baby's the spoiled one, according to the older siblings, and so you get treated a certain kind of way. And so I always used to feel like nobody was listening to me. Nobody would hear what I'm saying. Like, I have to scream at the top of my lungs or do something crazy just to get anybody's attention. And so I had to learn, going to therapy, I had to unpack that and see, why was I like that, and why am I treating my family like this, and why is everything happening how it was happening. But just going to therapy, going with family helped our relationship, in that now I feel like me and my parents are way closer than we were before. I can talk to them about more things than before. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in my youthful days that I was afraid to tell my parents, but now I just be telling them everything. I'm like, that happened, you know, like, and I did that, and I did, you know, because I'm not afraid anymore, and they listen, and they're not judging me which was one of the things that they used to do because we were younger. We were under a lot of scrutiny, being immigrants, being in the church, pastors' kids. It was a lot. It was a lot of pressure on us, on me. And so, yeah, therapy has helped. Shoot. Now I'm sitting here thinking about those sessions. I'm like, dang, we have come a long way. I need to go congratulate my parents. Go have a celebratory party with them because, yeah, like I used to couldn't talk to them like I talk to them now. They probably never would have showed up to my shows. Now they come to almost all my shows in Atlanta. You know, like, yeah. And even the kind of music that I'm doing because they never... It was like anything that you listen to always had to be gospel music, church music, something like that, you know. And the fact that now I'm out here doing the kind of music that I'm doing and they're like they're rocking with me and just cool with it. I'm like, wow, y'all have grown. Look at y'all growing, you know, and supporting regardless. And they're not listening to other people. It's crazy because they used to all the time, like just care about what everybody else said. They were the pastors, you know, they had to care about what their congregation said. Now they tell me not to care what anybody else says. And it's a complete 360. I'm like, who are my parents? You know? But I think having me and my siblings as children has helped them as well.
And that's it's like that's what we come as children. Each generation comes to be the agent of change. Like I truly believe we choose our parents to come and love them and give, and then our kids will choose us, and it's just like to continue. And that's how they say, like, we come back as our ancestors, come back with more wisdom in each generation to teach and to show, and to extend that love really. And a healing, and
because the ancestors be talking to
they
people,
look,
they be talking.
You are an agent of change, for real.
There's this I have a roof on my house, and I go out on the roof and just I be talking to the trees, and somebody from the outside looking in would be like, she's crazy. But let me tell you, I get really silent. I breathe for some time, and then I just begin to ask questions, and it's like the trees just answer, or they just come to me, you know. And
that's how it was when I was in nature. That's why I was like, that was the therapy.
Let me tell you, and that was around the time before I started doing music. That it's crazy. I'm just sitting here now, just thinking about like, dang, y'all was really talking to me and telling me everything, and I'm going back to the trees today. Like, that's where I want to be, because
No. Yeah. And for real, and that's remember when we were at that meeting at Morris Brown, and Mr. Larry was like, we got to have a NASA activation, which, that is totally cool. Like, how far forward can we go? But I was like, I don't mean to sound too forward thinking here, but how about a get back to nature activation? Because that's the real technology. That is like the real, communication technology for us to be able to stay connected to divine and source and Mother Earth, and that it's really the answers are already within, but it's just creating the still spaces. And I think in the Native American tradition, they refer to the trees as our rooted brothers and sisters. So it's not just like, oh, that's a tree, but it's like, oh, that's my rooted brother and sister, or the bird is my winged brother and sisters. That we just like we can talk to each other, they can talk to us too.
And they've been here longer, and they know so much more. They've seen so much more, and that's why the answers are so much. It's just accurate. And it's clear.
And it's simple, too. It's clarity. It's not all the fluff and all of the... Like, we put all of these extra layers on the existence. And we can put as many on as we want to. But when we really peel it all back, it's really simple. Yeah. Life. This thing called life. The most simple, complex thing, which is what we get... Earth school, but that's what C-Prim I knew we was, because I was in this retreat in Costa Rica, and at first I thought they was crazy, but we had to do like a nature walk, and we had to literally go hug a tree, and you had to hug the tree and be connected to the tree for at least 20 minutes. So they say, creating that space. Like if you go in the first 2 minutes, you don't hear anything. You got all these voices in your head. It's like, I ain't talking no tree. Be looking like I'm crazy. Or, it's like,
Right.
like, why people say?
Right.
That's
funny. But but it's real.
But it's
real.
I literally did a whole freestyle with a tree. With the tree. Like we sat and I hugged that tree for 20 minutes, and in that 20 minutes we had a whole conversation, and we started freestyling and we was flowing. It was and I still have that rap. Like I went back and wrote that rap down afterwards, and it was some downloads literally about like what I'm living to this day.
That's wild.
And I never told anybody that outside of that retreat space.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's when I wrote What I Want To, I was outside with the trees. And it was the easiest song I'd ever written. Let me tell you. That was the easiest. And I was like, I didn't even know I could do this. But now I'm sitting here thinking about like, man, the most clarity, the most honest answers I've ever gotten has been out there on that roof, just sitting me in the trees and just talking to the trees. And even in some of my saddest times when I'd be out there crying with the trees, it's like they're comforting me, that's but I know it. It's like something in me knows, but the worldly me is just like, it's not realistic, but me, who I really am, knows why I'm doing these things, or is guiding me there. It's like, okay, whenever you're feeling sad, or whenever you need inspiration, or whenever you just need some answers, or just to breathe, sometimes I just go to that roof and I'm on that rooftop, just me and the trees.
All we need in this world is me and the tree.
Me and the trees.
Okay. And it's just me and the trees.
The trees, man.
Hey,
it's nature.
It really is. It's nature. And that was, it changed. Like I've came out of that experience, rebirth. Like that's how I ended up changing my name and everything, because I really realized who I truly was love. And Mel B was no longer, like that was the version of me that the world had constructed, and that was kind of the Build-A-Bear, the world Build-A-Bear, the Build-A-Bear version of me, right? And I'm glad we had this conversation, because it's just that confirmation for me of like, I'm ready to get back to nature.
Okay.
I've been here in Atlanta. I'm like been here longer than I was supposed to been, and like contemplating like staying a little longer. But I was telling David the other day, like literally, because we can't go outside here at this house because of the mosquitoes. And it's like, I am just feeling like almost vibrationally like my vessel, because when we're in nature, we're meant to be, because it grounds us, and we are electric, and we need that grounding, and we need a place for the energy, you know what I mean, to discharge. And when we don't, that's how we have so many people today that are ridden with anxiety and depression, and even multiple personalities. But I feel like we all have multiple personalities, but in a way where it's not manageable.
It's not
because
healthy.
The energy isn't flowing, it isn't moving, and then the rubber on the shoes, and then
stopping that,
then the food and
everything.
But because even when you're in nature, you don't even want to eat crazy food when you're in nature. Like you just want what fruits. Grows. What grows in nature, just fruits. So it's like, y'all, we got to all get back to nature. That's why we are currently, doing what we're doing in Tanzania, building up the land and having a safe space, communal space, and just community development to be able to bring as many people back to nature to truly get to experience. Because it's like you don't know until you experience it. Because I didn't. But it wasn't until I actually had that experience that I realized this is what the world needs. This is what we need.
You immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, just being able. So that's with one of the bigger missions with having the land, is to give people opportunities to come and really immerse themselves in nature, and have the space to heal, to unlearn, and in an environment that's supportive so that the truth of who they are can crystallize.
Yeah.
And when we go back into the world, it's like, that's who we are, because it's grounded. Because a lot of times we do retreats and workshops and we on fire and we got it. And I know when I go home, I'm going to do this and that. And then you get, I mean, probably even when you talk to your therapist, sometimes it's like, all right, I know what I need to do. Get you straight, you're on track. And then you go back into an environment or into a relationship, you know, where even in our families where people don't have the same information or the same mindset. And it's easier to get pulled down than to get pull somebody else up. Yep. So I would find myself slowly returning back to, you know, just my habits, because we're creatures of habits. Yeah. So once I had the time, it says it takes 21 days to break a habit, but then it's like, you know, 90 days really to create a new habit and have it fully integrate as a new way of being. And so, y'all, these 90 plus days in nature, opportunities will be coming your way. Prim's actually coming over. We're going to see how long you guys want to stay.
Definitely gonna make it.
But that's going to be such a treat.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
Honestly, it's the time. Like, you're ready, like, just where you are on your journey. Yeah. This is like the next step for the level. Yeah.
I'm
because
so ready.
She's like, I'm ready. We're going tomorrow. Right. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to take a quick trip and come back.
Just leave everything behind.
But yeah, I know we could talk all day, for days and for hours. But I do want to do a couple things before we wrap up, though.
Okay.
One is play some new music. Okay. And then we're going to play a game.
Oh, we're going to play a game.
We're going to play a game. And
I love games.
Yes, this is we'll get into the game and then we'll play the new music and then we'll I'll wrap up on a bang on some jams, have a little dance party. You seen Drink Champs?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I got this from you guys, Nori, DJ Effin. Thank you for the inspiration. Yes, shout out. Y'all are really doing it for the podcast. You're definitely an inspiration. And so it's called, I gotta look it up what it's called, but it's the game where you pick either or, well, they'll say like Lauryn Hill or Erykah Badu. And you have to either pick one. If you can't, then you take a shot. Yeah. So as always, here on ALLLOVE TV, we have shots of Indian Springs water. The healthiest, most healing, medicinal water, purest from the springs here in at the Indian River Springs in Georgia. One of only 2 springs in the U.S. that have naturally occurring sulfur. And so we're going to have some of this shots of water if we can't choose. Okay. So we're going to get right into it. First off, starting with Palo Santo or sage.
Ooh. Sage.
Meditation or prayer.
Meditation.
The sun or the moon.
I'm going to take a shot on that. You can't choose between the sun or the moon.
We're going to take.
Cheers to that.
To the sun and to the moon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I actually needed some of that.
I did too. I was like, let's just go ahead
and do that. Okay. Reading or audiobooks?
Shot me, because I love both. Like,
that's why I had to pick it.
Yeah, that's hard because I like when I'm driving, audiobooks. When I'm just here chilling, I'm reading. So it's both. Shot. Shot.
I'm gonna just keep my cup right here.
Right. It is so good.
Writing or typing?
What in the world? Okay. Affirmations, writing, quick on the go stuff, typing. I'm gonna just say writing. I'm gonna say writing. Okay. I'm gonna say writing.
Yeah, writing for me too. Yeah. I use the typing, but for me, especially affirmations and plans, like crystallizing.
Gotta write it.
Where the intentions to bring down, I have to write it. Documentaries or movies?
Movies. I'm gonna say movies.
Your mind or your heart?
Oh. She didn't say anything. Just say your mind or your heart. See, I'm such a softie because when anything comes to the heart, I'm just like, love. I'm gonna take a shot.
I was like, because it's like you need both. They're in balance. And situational.
Right.
But my ideal is having them in harmony.
Yes.
The mountains or the ocean?
The ocean for me. Pisces energy, you know. Love the
Inner
water.
mermaid.
Right. Love the water.
Love or respect? This is a tough one. I also got this from you, Nori.
You can't do without both. I don't understand. How are you supposed to choose between it?
That's shot.
You can't do without it.
And last one, this one's always interesting. Polyamory or monogamy?
You know, I'm starting to think polyamory is the way. My whole
The way it's set up
way
right
life is looking. Shoot, because the monogamy, I mean, I was taught that. So I'm challenging all the things I was taught just out of being for the sake of, you know, just do it to do it, you know, like, so now I don't even want to, I can't choose. I'm going to take a shot on that one. Like, I was taught monogamy, but polyamory is like the people that I know that are in polyamorous relationships have been very successfully happy. Like, so I'm like, I don't know. Like, my sister was just talking to me the other day about one of our friends that went to high school with us. And she's like, do you know such and such has 2 wives? And I'm like, what? And they're all happy. Like, and they started a Instagram page to show people about their relationship and how it's going. And it's just like, we're good, you know? And we all communicate. And sometimes I'm going to go over there and sometimes I'm over there. You know, I'm like, wow.
I mean, you know, I'm all for polyamory. It's really just communication.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes having a strong emotional intelligence, knowing yourself so that you can be true to yourself and in turn be true to everyone that you're in the relationship with. And then just communication and honesty, because we didn't come here to be in a relationship.
Right.
Like, we came here to relate. And, you know, it's a blessing on top if we get that, you know, one person for life, I feel like. And some people do make that work. But it just seems like for me, I feel like we have the capacity to have deep, meaningful, profound relationships with more than one person at a time. And polyamory doesn't automatically mean multiple sexual partners either.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just the understanding that we are allowing ourselves to decorate our lives with beautiful people and a space where there's honesty, and it also, you can't be jealous.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just really knowing yourself and being confident in that and knowing that we all have something to share with each other. Like, each interaction is a gift, and not trying to possess people. And
say that.
That part. So
we're taught that, though.
We're taught that.
You know, we're taught that.
And for good reason. Do you look at it like, okay, if they taught me this, why? Why did they teach me that? Why was it important for them to dogmatically, like, pump this into my programming?
Yeah.
Like, what were they trying to prevent me from experiencing, or how are they trying to limit or oppress me?
It's a good question.
In ways. That's how I question
Why?
everything. Why? Like, why? You know, and pros and cons, I play devil advocate too, because I can see some really beautiful aspects of monogamy, and how it served purpose, especially when you are surviving.
Survival,
you know, and coming together from that space where it's like, we got to stick together no matter what, because if not, we might not make it.
Right.
But when we get past surviving and now we're alive and we're thriving,
Right.
how does that look, and what's the capacity for, because we're expanding everything. I was watching this YouTube video the other night, and the sister, she said, for her, God is nature and creation and change, because everything always changes and evolve, and that is God. And so I don't think that it, even as we're changing and evolving, like that the people that we have in our lives would change and evolve and grow, as well. So it just, it works for me. It feels right for me. I've tried both, and I always feel like I lost more of myself in a monogamous relationship. Personally, that was just my experience.
When you say you lost more of yourself because you were giving yourself
I feel like I was giving more of myself with an expectation from this one other person to give more in return, because it was like that was the container that we created, versus when you have and again, polyamory does not mean every relationship is sexual, but not even allowing that space to, because we're so multifaceted. And so when I say lost part of myself, maybe just wasn't fully expressing all of me, because, sometimes one person can't even nurture all those aspects or handle all those aspects. And I didn't know myself well enough. I was attracting those relationships that were teaching me that, at that time. So it was necessary, but it was, me realizing that I was dimming my light a lot. And that's why I say losing myself, not showing up in totality of who I was, because I think the people I was dating weren't showing up in their totality, and which we're all healing and working through our stuff. But I find in being open and polyamorous, having multiple people to have to celebrate you and to keep you accountable and remind you, and just remember that you are this expansive being that is here to, shine our light and to love. And we just don't own anything. When you look at nature, the sun just shines and gives love every day and nurtures.
Doesn't ask for anything in return. Just
without
gives.
asking for anything in return. And so we got all the way around Robin and Barn with the
from
polyamory
or monogamy.
And it's situational. There have been periods where I wanted to be monogamous for a moment, for the time being. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it serves us better to keep our energetic container tight, because, this is our goal. This is what we're doing. This is what we're moving. And it has to be, it works when you're aligned with your tribe, because the people you're bringing in, it all makes sense. It's not, energetic dissonance, trying to spread yourself too thin, and it's all coming together, and we're all working towards the same bigger vision, same goals, which is tribe. That's what I feel like tribal living is with our ancestors and indigenous ways was tribal living. That was polyamory. To me. But
might have to give this a try.
Well, I'm not trying to convince anybody. You gotta all find out what's right for you. But
I mean, I've always tried monogamy, and it's kind of led me down the same path. And just like with therapy, I was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Might as well just give it a try, see what happens.
Right.
At least I could say I tried it versus didn't try it, and I'm still, not miserable, but still kind of
going through the motions.
Yeah.
And then for me, I don't know. I feel like I didn't, from a young age, I felt I had this inner knowing, like I didn't come, this lifetime's purpose for me is not romance. Like if I have it, that's just a cherry on top. But I'm very purpose based and just like, no, I'm here. Like my purpose of why I'm here. Like I knew, like most of my relationships have ended because I either had to choose between my purpose or staying in this relationship. And when it came to that choice, I had to choose my purpose, and that was because I know that I've probably had millions of lovers over all the lifetimes. Like this lifetime, that just wasn't. This is just not the emphasis for me. It's not the caveat of the experience. So it's just like when you're just an alien and you're just coming here for a mission. Just like, oh. But we always gotta ask our infamous, what does love mean to you?
Love
Question.
What
does love mean to you?
I think.
And
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say no, I'm going to just let you answer that.
Okay.
Then we're going to get set up so we can preview some new music. Okay.
I think the first time when we asked this question on this couch, when we just set everything up, I had said love is patient at the time, which that is very true because we were just trying to say in one word, what was love? But love is still patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. You know how that goes. But love is grace. Love is really knowing yourself and, extending your gifts and yourself to others without any expectation. That's giving love. That is loving on everybody because you got to love on everybody. People need love. People need what you got, and you got love. I think everybody has love. Everybody got some form of love in them that they can give. It may just be their gift, it may just be a smile, but you gotta extend that love, extend that grace, give love, be loving. I think that's how we are gonna heal the world one day, is with that love. That's what love's doing.
I don't want to say anything, right. But I'm like, yeah. But not just me though. You are, and I see so many of us that are doing our part, and it just starts with that. As simple as just in each moment letting love lead the way.
We will.
We are changing the world. One conscious, loving moment at a time. And the more we do that for ourselves, I feel like it starts. That's why self-love was that first, foundational piece to loving all. Because once we start loving ourselves, then comes the self-awareness of how we even to love ourselves. They go hand in hand. Then once we know that, comes the self-mastery.
Yes.
And then once we combine those three pillars and we're full and we're aware and we've begun to master ourselves, our emotions, our feelings, because that's what be having us all over the place. Be the emotions, the feelings that come from the traumas and the holes, and all of it really coming from feeling less than and not really knowing our worth because we weren't taught who we really are to know how to truly love ourselves, and we've been taught that from generations of generations. So the drama. But we are our ancestors here alive in the flesh in this moment, doing the work, healing and showing up, spreading love every step of the way. And that's why we really resonated. That's how we truly connected. I feel like our visions, we're locked in.
Yeah.
We're here to be vessels of love.
Right.
And that it's a full-time job.
Okay.
And on that note, we are going to pause for a moment and get, when we come back, we'll be getting into some new exclusive, music. Never heard before music from Miss Primrose. Hey. All right, we'll be right back. See, now you know when you do it the second time. It just flows so perfect the first time. All right.
That is too funny.
Okay. All right, y'all. And we are all the way back with Miss PR. I am ROSC. She could do it way better than me. We about to get into some new music, and Miss Primrose is going to give us a little insight into this first song.
All right, so this new song that I have exclusively for you and you out there, it comes from a place where I was having a struggling time. I had just gotten out of a relationship where we decided to take a break. And this person went back to somebody from their past, and I just kind of was out there in oblivion feeling like, damn, well, you wasted my time, but I had to learn in that there were still lessons that I was being taught, even from before the breakup and after the breakup. And I had to learn that you have to keep going forward. You can't go back, you know, but this song came from that. So this is Beginning.
Beginning. Hey.
I just want to go back. I just want to go back. I just want to go back. Back to the beginning.
Hey, okay. Let's see where we're going here.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. If I could just go back to the beginning. It could all be so simple. Yeah. Hey. Give me a time machine where you ain't finding me.
Oh, I like
do
that
all
lyric.
the things that I wanna do. I tell the old me not to love on you. If I could just go back, then I would go back. Maybe change some things, but then I can't help think, would that change me? Would that change me? Those lessons.
I like, hey.
Do I want to change the person I become? The person I become. Well, it's really just the pain that I'm running from. I just want to go back to the beginning. Hey, take me back. If I could just go back to the beginning. It's my favorite part. I take it back to that September when we met.
Okay,
our vibes is going crazy, something I want to forget. I leaned in on the love that felt so comfortable and fresh, but believing in your eyes as they told beautiful lies, like you'd always love me just because of who I am. But little did I know your gentle words made you the man. You took me through a process so I never do again, then left me high and dry, boy, aren't you the average guy? Now I see you with your old girl. Told me you was over, old girl. You keep me shaking up my whole world. But time reveals the truth, then I'm better now. I just wanna go back to the beginning. Take me back.
Going back.
Hey, go back. Oh, we go.
Hey. Try to get me on the remix.
Remix with the love. Hey. Time machine where you ain't finding me. Do all the things that I need to do. I beg the old me just to swerve on you. Swerve. Hey. If I could just go back to the beginning, go back. If I could just go back, go. I would go back. If I would go, I would go back. Give me a time machine where you ain't finding me. But time doesn't go back. We can only go forward. Never. Yeah. But time doesn't go back. We can only go forward. We can only go forward.
Yo. Hey, I'm about to be bumping this right here. This is my new jam. You know how once I like something, it's on play all day.
All day.
Literally. No, I love that. And we all got somebody we wish we could turn that time machine.
Be like, look, you ain't even gonna find me.
You ain't even gonna find me. But then just the vulnerability, the honesty, and just still being thankful for the process of learning the lessons. I like the end. Like, I love the whole song, but that ending where it's like time doesn't go back, it only goes forward. Like, that's the part when I'm in that moment, like, let me put on this Primrose song, because time ain't going back. It's only going forward. I got to keep moving.
You can only take it and learn those lessons and get better from it.
Hit on with the swerve, fella. I know you, so I'm like, I can see now the dance routine.
Right.
With the video about to drop. Hey, no, I love that song.
And
definitely.
March 4th. So my birthday's on March 4th.
Okay.
Which is the only day of the year that commands every other day to just keep going forward. So that's one of the things that I tell myself too, like, keep marching forth. March 4th. Like, you have to go.
I love how she did that.
So
keep that in my pocket. March 4th.
March 4th. I celebrate that day, even though it is my birthday, but I still celebrate it for, like, moving on. We're moving on. Keep
moving
going
forward. 3-4. Moving on. Are we gonna get to hear another one? How
sure
we
can.
Y'all know I like to get new music first.
New music.
All
right.
This is where I wish I had the little machine.
Yeah.
All our sound effects.
Now this one's a little I made it around the same time.
Okay.
Because I was going through, when you're an artist and you're going through something, you kind of tend to put all your stuff through the music. So you're going to hear some things here. And I'm just going to play it. Yeah. I'm just going to play it.
You'll get the gist.
Yeah, because this one's a little bit more vulnerable for me, but hey, it's music. This was made for. And you can kind of feel it.
As soon as it's like,
And this is rough, y'all, so.
You said it's the rough version. It's rough.
I think I've mastered the move on. Not a soul can leave me and cause me to break. I just nourish my inner. Everybody has a last day with me, they say. My therapist told me I'm not out of degrees, so I took myself 2 weeks and never look back. As if it would make me a sinner. You inspired the drive, I can thank you for that. Left me with tears in my eyes. That deep in my pain to thrive. Had me feeding to survive. Like I'm screaming, I'm alive. Like Kaylani, damn, I feel alive. Pushing myself to different levels. One of them females that called them anemia, and now they big jealous because they just can't be me and let alone see me. And when my horizons finally grew, I caught myself in the days wondering about all the time that I used to spend with you. Still loving my heart for the plug that gave me a spark. I know your past was dark, but still, I wish you the best. And I hope you get the life you wanted. I hope you finally have your daughter. I hope you find love that'll give you more than I could have thought of. I hope you love someone right. I hope you come home at night. I hope the money doesn't have to teach you that it ain't all in life. Those feelings will pass, man. I swear they gon' pass. I hope that one day in the future I bump into you, we laugh. I hope with the pain we can cope. I hope with love we elope. I hope that one day we will recognize the blessings that we took for a joke.
Whoa.
Ooh, yeah. All the blessings that we took for a joke. We took for a joke. We took for all the blessings that we took for a joke. All right, and so that one is actually,
First of all, I see your pen game. Yeah. First of all, I got the bars.
Yeah.
Oh. And you teleported me right back to a space in my heart.
Yeah.
Right there
so
with someone. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you felt that.
Yes, I felt that.
Yeah. And that's what it's supposed to do. It brings you to a place where you see, I'm human just like you. I can relate too. And hopefully, we can get past it and heal past these things together.
Yeah, no, I love you could even just still hear in your heart what you said. I hope one day in the future we can see each other and laugh.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful perspective because a lot of people stay bitter. And I like your therapist told me I could breathe. So what you said, I took 2 weeks and moved on.
Right. Yeah. She said you're allowed to
I'm
breathe.
mastering the move on.
Primrose
is not
so real.
That moving forward. A lot of times we stay stagnant in situations because we won't allow ourselves to move forward and move on.
March 4th, y'all.
Hey, March 4th.
Gotta march on.
Is this gonna be dropping March 4th?
And one of my colleagues, confidants, they kept telling me like I should have a set day where I drop stuff continually every year, and that's why I was like, nah, this stuff's not gonna come out until the top of next year. But it's looking like my birthday.
You could have a whole March 4th project.
Yeah.
And the whole, I'm feeling marching forward in so many, like the songs that will be on the March 4th project dropping March 4th. That's happened to be your born day.
Right.
March
just
4th.
so happened to be.
Just so happened to be. Hey, no. That's
possibly.
Yeah. Well, if you want to leave those snippets with me, then I can listen to them and enjoy them before March 4th.
Right.
Moving forward.
And that one doesn't have the feature on it yet, but there's going to be a feature on
feature.
that one. Yep. So there's a couple of artists who reached out to me, and I've sent them the song and saw what they could do, but it just didn't quite fit yet for the feeling, because it's like I have it in my head what I want it to be. And so until I get that person that can feel that, so that when you hear it, like that feeling that you just got, you know, I want that to continue throughout the whole entire song.
Yeah. And I don't think y'all knew, you know, Miss Primrose over here is not just a singer, not just a writer. She's coming through with the bars. She's a writer. She's a poet. She's an emotion evoker.
Yeah.
And
I wrote all of that. Like,
that's all you
just heard was me.
And it's crazy, like when you go, like those most painful moments bring out our best art,
best stuff. So like, serious, because I was
so necessary.
Whoo, my feelings was feeling, and all that. I was going through it. Going through it, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah,
still beautiful.
That's the whole beautiful part of it, and that's just living as an art. It's the biggest form of art, and then when we get to channel like that art and then pull it into more art, it's like, you know, what are those dolls where it's like the big doll and then you take it open and it's the smaller one and smaller one and it's like it's just life, and then the layers, and then we crack it open and we just keep get to keep extrapolating from the bigger and creating another layer of the gift, which is like but wow. And the first song though, God, that was a vibe. It made me feel you just took me on an emotional roller coaster. I was jamming, and then the next time I was like, oh, I'm hurting. But that's the sign of a great artist, honestly. So, and speaking of you being an amazing artist, how can everybody tuning in support you, follow you, stay connected with you?
Yeah. So y'all can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Miss Primrose Official. So that's Miss Primrose Official on everywhere, on all streaming platforms as well. Miss Primrose, all streaming platforms. I mean, I'm talking Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube even. My videos are on YouTube. As I told you before, my vlog, Music is My Therapy, my music journey is on YouTube as well. So go ahead and follow there and subscribe so that you can see all the hot stuff I got coming out and with my cool friends. Hey. Like love.
Yes, because as you guys may notice, Miss Primrose is in her one of one All Love custom luxe fall edition bleach out sweatsuit that she designed herself. You know, we're all about co-creation and putting our own energy into everything, planting the seeds and designing our own life. And she designed this piece here that we're going to do some photos when we wrap up, so y'all will see them interjected. But I definitely feel a collab coming on the design space, and even moving forward with the curriculum and developing some programs for the youth and expounding on that. So I know our paths crossed because we got a lot to collaborate on, and which we will be doing. So yeah, y'all, thank you for tuning in to another episode of All Love TV. You know, it's your girl Love, and we are letting love lead the way in everything that we do.
Love it. Love yourself first, y'all. Love yourself first.
That part. And don't forget, therapy is a form of self-love. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in from our heart to yours. We hope that you receive some medicine, some wisdom, some love, some laugh, some jam, some movement in the body, and all that goodness. And yeah, we see y'all next time. Peace. Hey. That was fun.
Hey. I actually want to listen to this again because I just
run it back. So I do keep the cameras rolling, and just afterwards, because sometimes it might be something cool. But yeah. So if you cool, because we gonna run it back one more time.
One more tickety time.
I think I've mastered the move on. Not a soul can leave me and cause me to break. I just nourish my inner. Everybody has a last day with me, they say. My therapist told me I'm allowed to grieve, so I gave myself 2 weeks and never looked back, as if it would make me a sinner. You inspired this drive, I can thank you for that. You left me with tears in my eyes, that deep in my pain to thrive. Had me fiending to survive. Like now I'm screaming, I'm alive. Like Kehlani, damn, I feel alive. Pushing myself to different levels.
Okay, alright. And her song, Damn, I Feel Alive. That song, I had to listen to that song.
And when my horizons finally grew, I caught myself in the days wondering about all the time that I used to spend with you. Still loving my heart for the plug that gave me a spark. I know your past was dark, but still I wish you the best. And I hope you get the life you wanted. I hope you finally have your daughter. I hope you find a love that'll give you more than I could have thought of. I hope you love someone right. I hope you come home at night. I hope the money doesn't have to teach you that it ain't all. I hope these feelings will pass, man. I swear they gon' pass. I hope that one day in the future I bump into you, we laugh. I hope with the pain we can cope. I hope our love we elope. I hope that one day we will recognize the blessings that we took for a joke. Ooh, yeah. All the blessings that we took for a joke. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. All the blessings that we took for a joke.
I can hear a guy was like coming on and talking about his perspective of going through.
So you're in my head.
Yeah,
because that's exactly
what I hear.
Yeah,
that's where the song took me.
I've been trying to get the right guy though, and the voice I'm hearing is like a J. Cole type voice that you know that speaks in that way, but
and
his
delivery
really
letting you in the layers of what was happening.
Paint a picture for a story. I want him to tell a story.
Yep.
And so like I'm telling everybody, I'm like I need it to be like this, and then when I get the stuff back, it's like okay, J. Cole.
You know how we do,
right? Look, hey, I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper. And
like, you know what, girl, I was
might as well get J. Cole on it.
And Slutty Vegan and J.
Cole walked in.
Yo, that's how life.
That's how life works. Literally,
it's been happening like that. No, that's definitely what that verse is needing right there. That would be the perfect feature and fit.
I need you, J. Cole.
J. Cole,
come on down. All right, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Where you at?
Right there.
So this is the EP that I was working on.
Okay.
And those 2 songs. So yeah, I keep like notes for specific projects. So this is when I have a couple of.
Oh, you know what? You can do folders and notes.
Yeah. So yeah.
They be teaching
just
me.
love.
Y'all know I was out here disconnected.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Because if you put all your notes in the same place,
yes, that's what I be doing. I be scrubbed.
Too much folders. Make you some folders in them notes and organize.
I'm getting on that this week. Okay.
So let's see. Where is beginning?
The blessings that we took for a journey. Mastering, moving on. That first 4 bars. When you,
I guess I mastered the move on. Not a soul can leave me and cause me to break. I
what?
just nourish my inner. Everybody got a last day with me, they say. My therapist told me I'm allowed to grieve, so I gave myself 2 weeks and never looked back. As if it would make me a pillar of salt. Inspired this drive. I can thank you for that. Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars.
They had to, okay, here it is. I was like, where you at?
I just wanna go back.
I was like, this is kind of a beachy song.
Right.
I just wanna go back.
Like I made a challenge again.
Yeah.
You know, like with a hip hop.
Yeah.
If I could just go back. you ain't finding me. Do all the things that I wanna do.
I love that. That's
my thing, right?
But I want to know what I want to do. Except from a kid.
If I could just go back, then I would go back. Maybe change some things, but then I can't help think. Would that change me? Would that change me? Would that change me?
Hey.
Do I wanna change the person I become? The person I become. Well, it's really just the pain that I'm running from. I just wanna go back to the beginning. Yeah. Take me back. If I could just go back to the beginning.
It's always my favorite part. I love rapping. So all the rapping parts be like,
I take it back to that September when we met. Our vibes was going crazy, something I won't soon forget. I leaned in on a love that felt so comfortable and fresh, but believing in your eyes as they told beautiful lies, like you'd always love me just because of who I am. But little did I know your gentle words made you the man. You took me through a process so I'll never do again, then left me high and dry. But aren't you the average guy? Now I see you with your old girl. What? Told me it was over, old girl. Come on. These tears be shaking up my whole world. But time reveals the truth and I'm better now. I just wanna go back to the beginning. Yeah. If I could just go back.
Go back where?
Back to the beginning.
Hey, let them know.
okay. DJ Day Perry.
Okay. If you ain't finding me,
Finding them.
do all the things that I need to do.
That I need to do.
Tell the old me just to swerve on you.
Swerve.
If I could just
Back to the beginning. Go back. If I could just go back. I'll be going.
If I could just go
back. I would go back.
back to the beginning.
I would go back.
Give me a time machine where you ain't finding me. But time doesn't go back. We can only go forward. But time doesn't go back. We can only go forward. We can only go forward.
Y'all know
You can
that.
only go forward.
You can only go forward.
Hey, time doesn't go back.
It can only go forward.
Prim be making me feel like I guess. Hey, y'all be Milli Vanilli. That's not.
She got the movement.
I am Milli Vanilli out here in these streets.
Hey.
You know, I'm working on my stuff.
She
See
can do
how
what
that
she
was the
want.
vibe. Right,
Okay.
do what I want. You know, you just bring the vibes.
Right.
Yo, that's my jam. That I need that. Did we?
I
I
aired
got
it to your iMac. Yeah.
That I won't let anybody else hear,
Yeah.
but that's gonna. No, that's
Go
a jam.
ahead. Bop to it.
That's a bop.
Bop to it.
That's a bop. I like both of them. This one just puts, I feel good.
Yeah.
This one is a good vibe. The other one is when I'm in a like more reflective space. You know what I mean? And it pulled me a little too close to my emotions.
Yes. Right.
I'm
I'm telling
like,
you,
it's
provoking.
Yeah, it's definitely provoking. But this song right here, this one will be an Eye of the Light remix where it's playing.
Yeah.
You know, on my playlist.
Right.
24/7.
24/7.
See?
All day long.
It was like Miss Primrose has 100,000 views.
If
right
it came from one
third-
person,
right? Zip code 30311.
Right. It's the same one.
That's the same
Over
one.
and over.
This is what we do, and it's not. What do they call those? Farms where people be stream farms.
Oh,
Yes, it's not a stream farm. I'm really listening to the song, guys.
No, she's actually
I'm
listening, not just
I'm
playing
really
it to play it.
listening to it. Oh my God,
This is fun.
yeah. No,
This is
I
fun.
love that. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Thank you for interviewing me and having me on and
Yes.
well, having a conversation, because that's what it was. It was a great conversation. Cameras, they were here, but
And that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're trying to. And it fit, like, this was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Really, because it's like talking about and just being vulnerable. Like.